Okay, so I have a bandsaw, and I recently figured out that there's a small but distinct difference between a metal cutting bandsaw and a wood cutting bandsaw. And I can't tell you exactly what that difference is at this point, but let's just say you can probably cut wood on a metal cutting or a steel cutting bandsaw, but you can't cut steel on a wood cutting bandsaw. So that bandsaw that I have is kind of big, and it's really not doing the thing that I want, which is to just cut a little piece of metal off and not spend a lot of time doing it. So I crawled around trying to find a vertical bandsaw that cuts metal that's not very big, and that really doesn't exist. The internet is awash with horizontal bandsaws that chop metal and will do different angles and stuff. But I really just want to like put a piece of metal on the saw and cut it. I don't want to have to fixture it up in a vise, and I don't want the space requirement for a horizontal bandsaw. So while I was stumbling around, I figured out that one of those um, builder shop projects that everybody seems to do is build an upright mount for a portable bandsaw. So this is a portable bandsaw, um, and having it upright instead of portable, like you're gonna go and cut stuff, how it's originally designed. Um, Having it upright is really great because it's a bandsaw that apparently is really great at cutting metal, and it's not very big, and it weighs like 10 pounds. So this is really why that market segment hasn't been filled, is because everybody just makes this. So I got this bandsaw on the Home Depot website. It's a variable speed bandsaw. There's a little knob here. There's a few different versions of this, so pick your own flavor. They seem like they're all the same size, basically, and the small little bandsaw blades are just like the same for the different models of this saw. So when I got it out of the box, I knew I wanted to take it apart. So the first thing I did was I found the handle, and it had a relatively large hex head bolt in it. So I thought that that would be a good place to start. So I bent a little bend in this piece of 1/4x1 bar, and I drilled a hole in it and I bolted it on. And then I made some little squares here and I welded it into a T. And then I bent and shaped, I don't know if you can see that, this little curve here to fit the curve of the handle so it would have a good solid thing to sit on. And then I welded these little tabs on here to keep the handle left-right stable. And then I shimmed it up with a little piece of plate here so that the cord and the bottom of the housing would clear the base. And then I kind of imagined that this triangle here would be on the backside, back here, but that actually turned out to make no sense because the weight of the saw is really forward. So I snapped these welds off and spun it around and stuck it back on, and that really worked well. And then these little pieces of bar support here, I put those together with a little bend in them to keep the top of the saw from toppling over. And I've just put the smallest little tacks on them, and it really seems pretty steady. The entire thing isn't very steady itself, but the relative relationship between the saw and the thing it's sitting on, it seems really steady, which is really my goal. I'd like to put some holes in it so I could put some screws in it or some bolts to hold it down. But more or less, I'm pretty happy with it because it stands up on its own and I don't have to chase it around very much. So I suppose you could just clamp it. These little tacks are really, really small, so I'm gonna try and be kind of gentle here. But see if we can cut something. I need to make a trigger hole, but I found that this piece of tube is about 2 inches. Fits right in there. So that's the kind of thing. Real fast, real easy, cut something. You don't have to try too hard. So that's what I made. I hope you like it.